Do you see that theorem? In 1637, Pierre de Fermat, an amateur French mathematician, wrote it down in the margin of a book. Then he added this tantalizing note.
I have discovered a marvelous proof, a truly marvelous proof of this, which this margin is not large enough to contain.
Those words have haunted mathematicians for centuries because Fermat never did write down his proof in that margin or anywhere else. And though many tried, no one was ever able to prove Fermat's last theorem. In the meantime, some grew skeptical that the theorem would ever be proved. David Hilbert, a turn-of-the-century logician, said,
I haven't that much time to squander on a probable failure.
E.T. Bell, in his 1937 book, The Last Problem, wrote,
Civilization will probably come to an end before Fermat's last theorem can be solved.
More recently, Ken Ribbett, a Berkeley mathematics professor, admitted,
I didn't even think about trying to prove it. Only Daniel Keene had the audacity to dream that you could.
That's right, Daniel Keene. 350 years after the gauntlet was thrown, Keene, a professor at Princeton University, has finally attained this holy grail of mathematics. He has constructed a proof for Fermat's last theorem and become world famous as a result. So, what happens when you leap overnight from obscurity to international renown? First, like it or not, you have to meet the press.
Hey, Benny, how's my makeup?
But I flunked math.
This man is a math god.
I can't wait to hear how he explains this to the masses.
This is my Over there.
Over here, Professor Keene.
Professor Keene, over here.
Over here, here's a question.
Over here, Professor Keene.
Is that him? He looks so nerdy.
He's a math professor. What did you expect?
I don't know.
Professor Keene, is it true?
Fill us in.
What's the scoop?
Is it true, Professor
Who
Keene?
is Fermat?
How's it feel?
What's the deal?
What did you do, Professor
He
Keene?
seems so quiet, unassuming.
A stiff that needs entombing.
All these passions all consuming.
He must be a little bit crazy. He must be a little bit crazy. Must be a little bit crazy. 7 years he spent shut up in his attic, trying to come up with a proof. Now comes the main event in matters mathematic. The world's curiosity grows. We want to find out what he knows.
Reporting here live for Channel 5 on June 23rd, 1993. We're here with Professor Daniel Keene, tonight's hot name on Evening Magazine.
Is it true?
Do you really have a proof, Mr. Keene?
What is a proof and who cares?
Don't be aloof, Mr. Keene.
He proved Fermat's last theorem. The math world is elated. We hope we understand it. It's very complicated. Tell us what you've done. Tell us how you solved it. The most famous problem of all time. Tell us how you spun, worked it, and evolved it. This proof no one else has been able to find. That's boggled all the greatest brains of humankind. Now has come the moment for the truth to unwind. Another proof was given several years ago. A different problem solved. As some of you may know, this proof stated beyond all doubt that a certain conjecture, an unproved conjecture, the Shimura-Taniyama conjecture, should it prove to be true, implies a corollary you could apply to Fermat, which would mean that Fermat, beyond a doubt that Fermat was right.
What the hell does that mean?
I haven't got a clue.
What's he saying?
How did out do you?
Hush, this is important.
I proved the conjecture. The unproved conjecture. The Shimura conjecture. Yes, I proved it to be true. And by extension, Fermat's last theorem. Fermat's last theorem. 2.
Simplify, Professor, simplify, Professor. Edify, electrify, and educate. It's up to us to help our readers understand it. So tell us, what exactly does the theorem state?
Well, do all of you know of Pythagoras?
Yes, Professor Keen, we do.
Pythagoras? Does he teach at Princeton too?
No.
Shut up!
Fermat's last theorem is the general case of a statement which was proved by Pythagoras.
Was this last year? I think I read about it.
What are you doing here anyway?
I usually write the Sunday feature, but the science guy's out with the flu.
Pythagoras was an ancient Greek, the father of mathematics. As Pythagoras said, for every right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides. Or in other words, many square numbers can be divided into 2 other squares, but according to Fermat, you cannot make it work. 4 cubes, or 4s, or 5s, or 6s, or more. In fact, there are no whole number solutions where n is greater than 2, not 3, and not 10 million. That is the theorem. Fermat's last theorem, for which I have a proof.
Why is this important? Why is this important? What is so significant that we all should care?
This theorem is so simple, so seemingly simple. Instinctively we knew it to be true. And yet, through the centuries, the proof has eluded us, an unresolved mystery. What I have done is finish the work of so many others who came before me. Oh, sure. Thank you.
So now what's next, Mr. Keen?
Is there some other problem that has you vexed, Mr. Keen?
7 years I spent shut up in my attic. Curves and complex functions were my life. Now I need a rest from all that's mathematic to reacquaint myself with my children and my wife.
Here live for Channel 5.
Excuse me, Mr. Keen, one more question, please. This proof you have found, is this what Fermat found? Is this what Fermat could not fit in his margin all those years ago?
No, it is not. No, it could not be. The math I used did not exist in the time of Fermat. So we still don't know. We never will know. The one thing we can't ever know is what he really meant.
Well, this has been our fascinating 5 minutes here with Professor Daniel Keen. We're here reporting live.
Daniel, sweetheart, you're a hero now, but you've always been a hero to me. Now the whole world can see what I've always known. I've half a mind to put a lock on this door, then you can't shut yourself inside anymore.
All these years you stood by me, my strength begins with you. All the joy you supply me in the end has carried me through.
Maybe now we can try ballroom dancing again, and you can play Monopoly with Emmy and Ben. They're itching for a game with their famous dad. Come downstairs, I'll make you the best Rob Roy you ever had.
I'll be down in a moment.
Well, all right. Have some fun. Just promise me as far as Fermat's concerned, you're done.
I promise. I'm done.
My solitary 7-year search is complete. Life goes on. What to do? Return to my academic perch, overeat? No person, vacation, or faculty post will ever replace what I treasure most. Time spent alone with my truest friends. Numbers and all their astonishing trends. As a 10-year-old boy, I discovered the joy, the glorious joy of numbers. Fermat was the hook I learned from a book, the mystery which he left behind, and the proof to the theorem I swore I would find, no matter the sacrifice. And now it is done. Yes, I was the one to reach this numerical paradise. I have discovered a marvelous proof, a truly marvelous proof. But the cost has been dear, that's one thing I fear. My family life has suffered. And although I found fame, it isn't the same as my personal, private delight. For no one believed that an end was in sight, that a proof could be found which would prove watertight, that math and its history could change overnight. But I knew, I swore, that elegant symmetry of x squared plus y squared is square of z could not be repeated if n were 3 or more. Numbers, numbers, squares, primes, imaginaries, irrationals. Numbers achieve a perfection mankind can never attain. To associate with such perfection, like pi or the golden section, is an honor, a blessing, a privilege, an art. For numbers themselves are only the start, the key to that exquisite world, where angles and arcs are unfurled in the tiniest petal of a rose.
or the hairs on the end of your nose. The beauty of numbers, the beauty of numbers is everywhere. And the world is simply a chance to reflect how all of these properties must intersect and lead down Pythagoras' path to the godlike power and purity of
That was just divine. I couldn't have said it better myself.
How did you get in here?
The part about the hairs on your nose, I found that particularly moving.
All right, who are you?
Danny, dear Danny, you don't mind if I call you that? I'm wounded to my very core. I thought we had such great rapport. Here, let me provide you a hint. I have discovered a marvelous proof.
Fermat!
Ah, but can you prove it mathematically?
How did you get into my attic? Not to mention this century.
I have discovered a marvelous method of time travel, which this attic is not large enough.
I must be a little bit crazy. I've spent too long in this room.
Oh, Danny, don't tell me your famous penchant for taking a leap of faith is deserting you at a time like this.
Let me touch you. I have to see if you're real.
Not imaginary, irrational, or ideal.
You're not Fermat. Take your hat and your plume and get out of my room.
How sad to hear you say that. It almost breaks my heart. For we have so much in common, although we're worlds apart.
If you're Fermat, then tell me, what is your marvelous proof?
Now, would that be fair? What is there to keep you from claiming it?
I have my own proof.
A top-heavy, overblown affair.
Now wait just a minute.
Elliptical curves, modular form, Shimura, Taniyama. It's all made up, it doesn't exist. Algebraic melodrama.
You're showing your age, Fermat. You've got to keep up with the times. You always were an amateur, that is, if you even are, Fermat.
Why should you not believe me? Why don't you trust your eyes? In math, things we think must be true are often false, ephemeral, and things that surely cannot be are what you can hang your hat on.
Well, if you are, I must say this. It's quite a momentous thing to meet you face to face.
Yes, I quite agree. It is an honor to meet me.
And your chance to tell me what is your marvelous proof. How about some professional courtesy?
I think you're presuming too much.
Unless, of course, you never had a proof.
Maybe I didn't.
Didn't you?
Didn't I?
Then why did you write that note?
Why did I write it?
Tell me.
No.
Tell me.
Never.
Tell me.
Guess.
All right, then. Your method was mistaken. You thought you'd found a proof.
But when you went to set it down, you found you'd made a monstrous goof.
Convenient, but wrong.
Very well, then. Your proof indeed was valid, but later you forgot all the work you did inside your head, so all your efforts came to naught.
Inventive, but off the mark.
Then you have to tell me your secret.
My lips are sealed.
The world deserves to see.
But if the mystery were revealed, I'd lose my immortality.
You have a simple, elegant proof. Exactly the way that you claim. You want to be the only one who knows, and that's your little game.
Clever.
Tell me your secret.
My lips are sealed.
The world deserves to see.
But if the mystery were revealed, I'd lose my immortality.
You never had a proof. You meant it as a hoax. You've a jester's taste for tacky, mathematical, practical jokes.
And now would I do that?
You scoff at all my work, but what if you're so smart? You knew all this before your time, and your proof is the same as mine. And what about your son, who claimed you wrote that note, that the original was never found?
With theories you do abound.
And now you stand here to confound, perplex, and irritate me.
I do believe you hate me.
It's just that you frustrate me.
C'est la vie.
Tell me your secret.
Don't hold your breath.
The world should know at last.
I'll take the answer to my death.
You're already dead.
You catch on fast. My name would be forgotten.
That wouldn't be so rotten.
I'd rather be tied to a tree than lose my immortality.
Well, Monsieur Fermat, if that is all you're going to say, what is it you want here? Why have you come all this way?
Now that you're a world-famous mathematician, there are some people who would like to meet you.
Forget it. I've been meeting people all week.
Not these people. These are special people. I'm sure you'd want to meet them even more than they care to meet you.
I can't imagine who.
Now that all the work is done, prepare yourself.
For what, Fermat?
Now the battle has been won, prepare yourself.
Some last hurrah.
Come through history's beckoning door. Are you truly ready for the aftermath?
Sing we to symmetry, muse of the mathematic. We worship all equations, the simple and quadratic. Algebra, geometry, set and number theory, all admired equally in our purgatorial Pythagorean secret society.
Fermat will return in a moment or two with the promising Mr. Keen.
Fairly impressive, the work he's done. Quite a bright spot on the scene.
But the question still remains, will we greet him with fond embrace here with us in the aftermath when the time arrives to take his place?
Is he famous enough?
Is fame what truly matters?
This modern math is all fluff. Our fine tradition left in tatters.
Gentlemen, perhaps we've no right to disdain. Our own names are not still so much in circulation.
You, Isaac Newton, have no cause to complain. Your name still resounds with nauseating celebration.
Hand over that little gravity thing. Disgusting, how to that you cling.
Please, you don't refrain from thus. Remember, I found calculus.
Fruitless Pickering, our timeless epitaph. A spat like this will probably last a century and a half.
Easily said from such as you, the so-called father of mathematics. Pythagoras, please drop the cheap dramatics. It's bad enough stuck here with these fanatics.
Once again, 'tis I who am left in the cold. No one pays me heed or remembers my credentials, but many books proclaim that I'm the great mathmeister of all time. So pardon if I pine and grouse. I'm Germany's Carl Friedrich Gauss.
Geometry, geometry, hello, hello, remember me.
You all would be consigned to hell as barely remembered personnel. Were it not for Euclid, I, the founder of geometry. Easily said.
No one will read upon his
Credentials. Many books proclaim
the
that
time
I'll grouse
Mathematics, Euclid,
with Pythagoras.
Isaac Newton, geometry.
Pythagorean theorem. Was the first to use the fruitless Pickering throughout eternity. I can't imagine three with whom I less would rather be. I'm sure that hell is more serene.
Fermat has just returned with Keen.
Sing we to symmetry with reverence and piety. Our purgatorial Pythagorean secret society.
I'd like the privilege of being the first to welcome you, Mr. Keen.
What is this place? Who are you? But wait. If I didn't know better, I would say you're Sir Isaac Newton and you're Carl Friedrich Gauss.
At last!
As for you, I have a guess, but I'd prefer if you just tell me.
We predate portraiture. This is Euclid.
Of Euclidean geometry fame, a privilege, sir. Which means you're Pythagoras.
You are well versed in your field, sir. Welcome to the place where history reclines. Welcome to the aftermath.
The aftermath. What a relief. I always wondered where mathematicians go when they die.
All right, enough. Gentlemen, I feel we should get to the point.
Ah, yes, the point. Well, you
The
see...
point is that you cheated.
I cheated?
You cheated! You
Let
cheated!
me explain. Let me explain. While we all admire what you've achieved, and no one more than I, the means you used were quite contrived, you surely can't deny. Your proof, as far as we can tell, is technically correct, but simplicity and elegance are the things we most respect.
And you used forms of math which weren't available to us. Therefore, you are not as great a mathematician as we.
So you see, we're not convinced.
we simply are not sure.
If we should let you in, we have to keep things pure.
But I'm not dead yet. Oh.
No, of course that's true, so we'll have to wait and see. But your time will surely come, and the choice will fall to me.
And as we all know, all one's best work is done when youth's in flower. It's doubtful you'll have much more to show, and you're aging by the hour.
Then what must I do to to be sure of my place.
I have constructed a difficult problem for which you must find a solution that's elegant and adept.
I do not see why you went to the trouble, dear Gauss. Wouldn't it be simpler just to let him fix his proof?
What? Fix my proof? There's nothing wrong with my proof.
My dear Danny, I hate to contradict you, but the fact remains you made a false assumption on the way, and now you have to pay. In order to transform your elliptic curves into Galois representations so they could be counted against the set of modular forms, you assumed they met the requirements of an Euler system, when in fact they do not. Poor Euler. It will distress him mightily when he hears that it was the construct which bears his name that was your undoing.
Why did you not reveal this news before, Fermat? You could have saved Professor Keen the trip.
Not to mention all my work on his test problem.
I only just this moment found the slip. But your proof contains a flaw, Professor Keen. It destroys the whole foundation of your finely tuned machine. I hate to be a spoilsport. I know it was your goal, but your proof contains a big fat hole.
A hole?
A hole?
My proof contains a hole?
I didn't want to be the one to say. I know this is upsetting. Please show some self-control. But your proof contains a big fat hole.
Make no mistake about it. If this defect you can mend, an offer of admission we will cheerfully extend. But until the time arrives, you are forbidden to enroll, because your proof contains a big fat hole.
A hole, a hole. Your proof contains a hole.
I hate to be the one to spoil your day.
There's still a chance to fix it.
We'll put you on parole.
Cause your proof contains a big fat hole.
His proof contains a hole.
Shabba-daboo.
His proof contains a big fat
A shame you seemed so perfect for the role.
But your proof contains a big fat hole. Your proof contains a hole.
I must be a little bit crazy. What I think just happened can't actually have happened, could it? Just a moment.
I must have been knocking for at least 10 minutes. Didn't you hear me?
I guess not.
Daniel, sweetheart, tell me what's wrong.
I dreamed. No, I felt. No, I saw a man here in this room,
What? A man? Where?
reclining in my easy chair.
Who was it? Did you get his name?
Pierre de Fermat.
You're from
The same, and that's not all. Then he took me to the aftermath.
You're joking, right?
I feel like I was gone all night. What a place, I was unaware. All the great math minds of history are gathered there.
Sounds like quite a party.
Then while they decided if they should let me in, Fermat laughingly informed me that my proof contains a hole.
A hole? Your proof contains a hole.
Don't say that.
Then they all laughed and disappeared.
Daniel, I'm surprised you didn't dream you were attacked by a giant letter X or killer number 3s. If you're so worried, go back and check. What did he say was wrong?
It's hard to explain.
Daniel, listen to me. You have a special mind, capable of great leaps of imagination. But you must be careful not to follow it just anywhere. It's been a crazy week. You are just overtired, gaining what you've long desired. Stop a minute. Take a breath and shake yourself free. What you think you saw is just anxiety. I promise you all is well, all is well. Daniel, I'm so proud of you. We're all so proud of you. Is it true that your proof has a flaw, Mr. Keene?
A flaw?
A flaw!
Tell us, please, was it nothing that you saw, Mr. Key?
How the hell did you get in here?
Were they listening? Had they been here?
It's time to get some spin here!
We must have the rest of the story.
We must have the rest of the story.
Must have the rest of the story. Must have the rest of it.
Who's behind this claim? Tell me where you heard it. Someone is determined I should fall.
And who would that be, Mr. King?
Is this just a game? Nonsense, that's absurd. It appears that Fermat has my number after all.
Here live for Channel 5, a colleague of Keen's has revealed a flaw.
An Euler system where there was none. A phantom set. No, his proof's undone.
Is this right?
He's a sham!
Appeal, Mr. Keene.
No comment.
Is this a scam you've been trying to conceal, Mr. King?
No comment.
What will you do now?
How will you continue? Or have you had enough of this proof? Marshalling somehow all the math that's in you. Will you soldier onward for 7 years more? Closeted behind this flimsy attic door. Get out of here!
We're
This
here.
press conference is over. Get out! You see? I didn't make it up.
Well, maybe they're mistaken.
I must go back and check it. I must see if it's true. So leave me to myself. There's nothing you can do.
Daniel, please.
It's not over until I say I will hole up within this room. It will someday become my tomb. But my research I must resume. I won't let Fermat. Not a chance that this man and his theorem will get the best of me.
I've been watching him, baiting him, guiding him, manipulating him, leading him down the garden path. I've been blocking him, luring him, distracting him and detouring him, keeping him from the proper math. No name but mine, no fame but mine, no one will share my glory. It's all I have, my soul's only salve, stuck here in a purgatory. So I'm beguiling him, confusing him, teasing him and abusing him. I won't let him fix the flaw. The world must remain in awe of me, Pierre de Fermat, and my name. It didn't start this way. I never meant to cause such dismay. When I penned that note, I never dreamed that what I wrote would soon be deemed such a call to action. Still, I must admit it does provide a certain satisfaction. I don't intend to lose my immortality and share with some two-bit professor, a person who in raw intelligence is so obviously my lesser. No name but mine, no fame but mine. I will not share my glory. All must concede I play the lead when people tell my story. That he's courting me, wooing me, exhorting me, misconstruing me. I will not consent to aid this mealy-mouthed renegade. So watch him begin a fruitless quest to fix the flaw. In the meantime, the world eternally remains in awe of me, the debonair Pierre de Fermat, and my name.
Pierre de Fermat, I'm sick to death of your name. I thought we had gotten rid of you. As long as I've known him, you've always been there. It's something I came to accept, the third person in the marriage. But now you're supposed to be gone. Don't tell me you're still hanging on. All I want for my birthday is for the search to finally cease. All I want for my birthday is for Daniel to find some peace. Then he will be happy, and then the rest of us will be happy. So that's what I want for my birthday. A corrected proof of Fermat's last theorem. Daniel, sweetheart, I realize how frustrating this all must be for you. Do you think it might help to talk it through with someone? I realize that you can't talk about it with your math colleagues, but can you talk about it with me?
All right. I have to prove that every elliptic curve has a corresponding modular form. That's the Shimura-Taniyama conjecture. We know that if a solution to Fermat's equation does exist, then I can use it to construct an elliptic curve that could not possibly be modular. However, if the Shimura-Taniyama conjecture is true, and all elliptic curves are modular, then this non-modular elliptic curve can't exist. There are no whole number solutions to Fermat's equation, and the theorem has been proved. QED.
QED.
Quod erat demonstrandum. It means which has been demonstrated. You put it at the end of a proof to show that you're finished.
Oh, good.
But I'm not finished. Elliptic curves and modular forms have nothing in common on the surface. They're from two completely disparate branches of math. And since there are an infinite number of both, how can I map them one against one?
I realized that the connecting element was Galois representations, but then I had to show that there were exactly the same number coming from the curves as from the forms, and my method of counting them doesn't work. At least I can't prove it does. That's the hole in my proof. I still need to find some way to count all the curves and all the forms all the way to infinity. You don't have any idea what I'm talking about, do you? Of course you don't. How could you? No one does. It's okay. Sometimes I can barely keep it all straight myself. But now it's more important than ever that I finish. I just need to concentrate.
Bonsoir, and welcome to Prove My Theorem, with your host, yours truly, Pierre de Fermat. Let me introduce you to today's contestant, Professor Daniel Keene of Princeton University. Let's give him a big round of applause. All right, that's enough. And now to the matter at hand. As our viewers all know, despite the many attempts throughout history to find a proof for my last theorem, all have ended in failure. Today's contestant has come closer than any before him, yet somehow the solution remains more elusive than ever before. Professor Keene, you face a unique set of obstacles as you appear on our program today. Are you ready? Let's play. April 1st, 1994. It is reported that Noam Elkies of Harvard University has actually found a set of numbers which make my equation work. This would mean that my theorem, which claims that there are no solutions, is in fact false. In other words, your efforts to prove it have been a colossal waste of time.
It isn't true. It's an April Fool's Day hoax.
10 points for you, Professor, but that one was fairly easy. As you know, our rounds become increasingly difficult. Let's see how you handle this one. Good. Kurt Gödel demonstrated with his incompleteness theorem that there are some true statements of number theory which cannot be proved. This raises the highly discouraging prospect that our contestant is stuck in his attempt to prove my theorem, because it is in fact impossible to prove.
But if the Gödel theorem does in fact apply to your statement, and it can't be proved, that means that when you claimed you had discovered a marvelous proof, you were incorrect, and the mystery has been solved.
Very impressive, Professor. You're better at this than I realized, but our game is about to become more challenging. To wit. Oh, yes. For 7 years, nobody knew what you were working on. But now, the whole world is tuned in to see if you can prove my theorem. Isn't the pressure unbearable? You still haven't published the details of your work, and some are starting to take offense. There are those who feel that the proof contains too many important ideas to be left in the hands of one man. Tension is mounting for you to reveal your work, creating the possibility that another mathematician could correct your error and take credit for proving my theorem himself.
All proofs are submitted for committee review before they are published, and the process is always confidential. It's quite normal for mistakes to be found, and for the author to have a chance to correct them before the work is made public.
A technicality. But the judges have declared you correct. Very well, Professor. We now move on to our final round. Pay close attention, because this is your greatest obstacle of all. How old are you now, Danny? You're 40, aren't you? And isn't it true that mathematics is... Oh, why don't I turn it over to my lovely assistants, Pythagoras, Euclid, Newton, and Gauss? They'll tell you what I mean. Sing it, boys.
Niels Henrik Abel, he stole the scene, proved the binomial theorem when he was just 16. And from lots of other folks, the lesson's much the same. Mathematics is a young man's game. Mathematics is a young man's game.
Drop your jaw, not to mention the teenaged Évariste Galois. It's their earliest achievement that brought them fame. Mathematics is a young man's game.
It's a young man's game. Young man's game.
It's a well-known fact and a frequent claim. Mathematics is a young man's game.
Well, it hurts to hear the truth, but that's the way it looks. Let the young men do the proofs.
You might do better writing books.
If you think you lost your edge, well, Father Time's to blame. Mathematics is a young man's game.
It's a young man's game. Young man's game. When you're past your prime, it's a crying shame.
Know it deep inside your soul.
And your proof still has a big fat hole.
Thank you, boys! Yes! Well, there you have it, Professor. Those are the conditions under which you will play our final round. And as always, you do get your clue for the day before we begin. Listen carefully, Professor. The rules allow you to hear this only once.
Within your failures lie the seeds.
Lie the seeds of your success.
Seeds of your success.
Seeds of your success.
Somewhat cryptic, isn't it? Well, that's all part of the fun. And now for the moment of truth. Professor Daniel Keene, you have 30 seconds to prove my theorem.
Are you crazy? I can't do this in 30 seconds. This could take me months. Well, don't you see I'm in a vast labyrinth, unimaginably vast. If I'm not careful, I could wander aimlessly in here forever. Well, every time I think I see my way out, I stumble into a new part of the maze, and it's just as dark and hopeless as the last part was.
Oh, Danny, you know as well as I do that most breakthroughs come as flashes of inspiration.
Right.
In 30 seconds, you've had time for 30 of them. But, unfortunately, our time is up. Let's see what you've written down. Ah, nothing. Well, that certainly isn't the answer we had in mind, is it? Still, we do have a lovely consolation prize for you. Here, as always, are Pythagoras, Euclid, Newton, and Gauss to tell you what you've won.
A lifetime of failure.
Don't feel too bad, Danny. When Galois was your age, he'd been dead for 20 years. Tune in next time when I crush the ambitions of yet one more obscure intellectual.
Daniel, dear, look at me. See, I brought you a cup of tea. Nothing Daniel dear, here I am. Would you like buttered scones with jam? Nothing. My presence doesn't register, it's clear. I sometimes wonder if I'm even here. Math, widow, that's what I am. That's what I'll always be. What's the big commotion about an X or a Y? A cosine or the square root of 3? There's a kind of pleasure only I can provide. It's not so hard to see what's in a cube or a square that I don't share, and why'd you rather spend your time with them than me? More and more I regret life resembles the empty set, nothing. Time goes by, no one grieves. 0 taken from 0 leaves nothing. When I had math in grade school, I recall, I hated long division most of all. Math, widow, has a nice ring, could be my epitaph. How'd you like to take a break to check out some curves that aren't the kind you plot on a graph? Worse than Albert Einstein on a permanent search for relativity. What's in this Gordian knot that gets you hot? And how can it compare to what you're missing with me? Topology of surfaces is boring, unless, of course, the surface is me. And I have no compunctions about symmetric functions. I'll show you one that operates continuously. Math, widow, that's what I am. Nobody's Valentine. I'll bet you'll never find a single modular form that's nearly as appealing as mine. Temperature is rising and frustration's increasing exponentially. And if the day ever comes when all of these sums exceed infinity, I'll say so long, kiddo, until you prove ditto. My days of being math widow are over. QED.
Marital squabbles taking their toll. Soon he'll give up and quit this fruitless mission. Try something else. Real estate, perhaps. Or maybe nuclear fission. Danny, dear Danny, are you having a stressful day?
What are you doing here?
I just wanted to see how you're advancing.
I'm not.
Too bad. Is there some way I can help?
Yes. Tell me your secret.
Not that again.
I'm beginning to wonder if you're not the biggest fraud there ever was.
No, I believe that honor goes to you.
Get out of my house.
Do I detect a certain impatience? Not with my theorem, but with me. Is it your hope to someday escape from my withering stare? I'll always be there. Go on and sing your tale of frustration, your foolish dream that I will set you free. It's all the same if you keep on working or quit in despair. I'll always be there. Oh, don't have a snit, my friend, it's all because of you that I am here. You've pursued me your entire career. Did you expect that you could make me disappear? Shall we proceed? No, let me lead. Danny, please, all your friends will suspect an affair.
I've almost got it fixed, and then when I'm through, I'll always be mentioned in the same breath as you. They'll have to speak of both of us. Can't you just hear 'em? The Daniel Keene proof of Fermat's last theorem. Once I complete my repair, it will always be there.
Face it, you're a wash-up. Your floundering is delightful.
You're selfish and unpleasant, and worst of all, you're spiteful.
At least I'm not a failure. You're never going to crack it, so slave on here forever.
Daniel, what is all that racket?
Ah, here she is, my beauteous rival. Though she's hardly a threat to my survival. Let's see you wriggle out of this one.
Anna, I didn't know you were there.
Sweetheart, you're dancing with air.
Can't you see him?
See who?
Of course she can't, she doesn't care. But you do, and that's why I'll always be there.
For you and you alone, Daniel.
See, you're still under my spell.
I've never seen you move so well. Were you thinking of me while you danced? Let's finish the duet that we started long ago. Let our bodies intertwine.
On your failure I shall die.
I'm yours.
You are mine.
No, I am not.
Daniel, please, it isn't all that bleak. I bet you'll have it fixed by my birthday next week, and then we can go dancing.
I think I'm going to cry.
You look pale.
Wonder why.
I'm feeling fine. I'm just slightly nauseous.
Then come lie down and have a little rest.
No, I'll stay here. There's still so much more to wade through.
Once again, you do just what I wanted you to. You see, sweetheart, how he prefers me to you.
Leave us alone!
Who, me?
Not you!
And who? You've really gone too far.
Daniel, your behavior has become a bit bizarre.
Darling, please, I didn't mean it. I wish I could explain. Maybe you were right. It's time to rest my brain. So come dance with me. What do you want from me?
You mean you really don't know?
I want you to myself.
Come to Papa.
Let me go.
How can you say that?
Not you, him.
There's no one there.
Oh, yes, he is smirking and sneering. Can't you see him preening and leering? He's laughing at you, too.
You scare me when you talk like this. It's almost like you believe it's really true. It's just me beside you through thick and thin. It's just me for always.
Feeding from within.
That's enough, you has-been.
You wash up.
You insufferable prig.
You turncoat.
Pea-brain hid under that wig.
There's no wig. There's no prig.
Just a mean little frog.
Where?
Better than a sniveling publicity hog.
I wish you had not left your grave.
You fat-headed, arrogant knave. The game is fini, and don't expect my pity.
Go to hell.
I've been there, it's just like Jersey City.
Be caught, crawl back into your hole.
Don't I have your love, your heart, and your soul?
I'm afraid, dear, the answer is no. He sold that last one to me long ago, which means I'll always be there.
I'll always be there.
I'll always
be there.
appalled. How crude, how unnecessary.
Propriety completely mauled.
And such vocabulary.
Now Fermat has gone too far.
Making scenes like that sullies our good name.
He's much too easily prone to spar, and so ticklish about his fame.
That boorish, long-winded fop. His lengthy declarations must finally come to a stop. It's time that we make reparations.
Euclid, I agree. He's unbearably snide. But how can we curtail his offensive self-promoting?
Maybe we should strike at the source of his pride. If we sought the proof, then he'd have to stop his gloating.
We could dispatch the job with ease were we to pool our expertise.
Now there's a truly brilliant plan. Let's get behind it to a man. If we can't prove it,
No one can. Fruitless bickering, it's time we took a stand. Tormenting a professor is completely out of hand.
let's throw our knowledge and support behind Professor Keen.
We'll fix his proof.
We'll plug the hole.
We'll bridge the deep ravine.
First, let's bring ourselves up to speed and review the status quo. A quick refresher is all we need to establish what we know.
I know a lot. The first important player of Fermat's perplexing game was a lady mathematician, Sophie Germain by name. The French declared that math was far beyond a woman's ken, but she proved it for all primes less than 100. So much for men.
Gentlemen, if I may, let's not forget the role of Mr. Kummer in our tale. That 19th century German was determined not to fail. He dreamed of ideal numbers when the search had fallen flat. Ideals preserved unique factorization.
Thank God for that.
Is it my turn yet?
Yes.
For Évariste Galois, a tear should certainly be shed.
Why?
His genius went unrecognized till after he was dead. He switched from math to politics when he flunked out of school. He joined the opposition and was murdered in a duel. But before he met his death in this manner, oh so dreary, he stayed up half the night and invented Galois theory. So, now that Daniel Keen is at the brink, Galois theory could provide the crucial link. Ha!
Me. Then came the 1900s, the so-called modern age. A raft of new and strange ideas alive to set the stage.
Take it, Pythagoras.
To tell you the truth, the 20th century is not my strong suit.
Sorry, I'm out of shape.
I never dallied with the moderns, not since Einstein.
I'm a traditionalist myself.
Well, doesn't anyone know anything about the last 100 years?
Come on, boys. Let's hit the books.
Henri Poincaré and its modular forms.
Louis Model and topological norms.
Computers can prove it, for into a million.
But we don't care if they go to a zillion.
A general growth must be found.
Where's my name? Where's my name? Where's my name?
Gerhard Fry added fuel to the drama.
Sparked by Shimura and his pal Taniyama.
To prove their conjecture is hardly quotidian.
And all this geometry is non-Euclidean.
Then young Ken Ribbit made it clear.
If the solution should appear
To the conjecture of the two Japanese, it puts an end to Fermat's big tease, and the race is still on. Yes, the race is still on.
So set your brilliant minds to work, for on Fermat's face we'll wipe the smirk. Pick up your pens, hasten to the task.
We know the questions we must ask, and the race is still on. Yes, the
his tale. Once again our passion stirs, long left in hibernation. It courses through our rusted veins and brings rejuvenation. The 20th century peace our thirst. Now's the time to intervene. Onward to the 21st. With combined proficiency we cast our lots with Daniel.
I'm stumbling around in the dark. I can't seem to find my way. All that's familiar has vanished. Numbers have failed me, led me astray. What made me think I could tread triumphantly down this trail, a path that is littered with corpses? Now, like the rest of them, I too shall fail. The public exults in defeat. Celebrity is only a vain conceit that dooms you to servitude worse than any medieval bond. So I try to respond, no avail, and the whole world can watch while I fail. Is this right? Is this fair? That my labor should end in despair? This public humiliation is more than this private man can bear. Daniel Keene, sure, remember all the headlines. Really? For what? Some proof he said he had. Famous? Yes, as the one who came the closest. But in the end, just another one who missed. And then it all went bad. Some say that he went mad. Ben, sure, his dad is that professor. Weird? Yeah, he never leaves the house. Anna, right, her husband is a joke. Could not complete the task. It's better not to ask. And fame, which is nothing I cared about before, now dogs me everywhere I go. Back then it was easy to stay locked behind my door, but now the honor of my family is at stake. It could have made them proud, now it hovers like a cloud, as if I've just been consigned to history's dustbin. So what's left? What's my choice? Hang it up, let the scoundrel rejoice, or stay here, far more grim, for the rest of my life chasing him. No, this time I'm calling his bluff. This charade has gone on long enough. So who cares if my proof has a hole? I'm restaking my claim on my soul. One last glance. Take a look. Here's my chance, and then I close the book. Nothing. It is done. Oh, it's you. Where's your pal Fermat? I wouldn't think he'd want to miss this.
Be still until you know why I have come. To save your clever proof we did intend. We marshaled all our skills for that sole purpose. We studied and we strove for days on end. But alas, I must report that we did not succeed, which leaves us with renewed respect for you. The four of us for once have agreed. Finally, we now wish to confer your proper due.
But what about that hole? My proof still has a hole. My work amounts to nothing in the end. I labored hard to fix it. You see, it took its toll. And my proof still has a big, fat hole.
Yes. But think of all the bright new worlds you've discovered along the way. Structures of your own devising, algorithmic interactions, connections new and surprising, abstractions of abstractions. These contributions reserve your place. Clearly yours is an extraordinary case. And so I pass the baton. You'll carry our tradition. Then when it's time to move on, the aftermath will grant admission.
I just came up to make sure you're all right.
Anna, you look so lovely tonight.
Daniel, what is it? Something has changed.
It's you. I'm seeing you. You're the answer to our prayer, and it's been far too long.
Well, I've always been there.
Anna, he's gone. Fermat is gone. Cast out of our lives, relegated to the past.
You're giving up.
Just letting go. Will you mind being married to a famous failure?
Daniel, you know I love you. Whether or not you proved some dead Frenchman's theorem.
Today's your birthday. It's time that I cleaned up this mess. I think I'll be a better husband for all I've been through.
It's often said, within your failures lie the seeds of your success.
Exactly right. Say that again.
Within your failures lie the seeds.
By the sea.
Lie the seeds of your success.
Seeds of your success.
Seeds of your success. Daniel.
My God. Could it be as simple as that?
Daniel, please.
Anna, come here. I want to show you. The thing that's making my proof not work is that I failed to meet the requirements of an Euler system. What flashed through my head just now was why. Do you remember about 4 years ago I was working with horizontal Iwasawa theory, but I hit a wall?
Well, I don't think I could have come up with that myself, but it does ring a bell.
Well, I'm thinking, stay with me. I'm thinking that what is keeping me from having an Euler system might be the thing that would make horizontal Iwasawa theory work. Hang on.
simple, so elegant, so perfect. I see now where I have gone wrong. The answer was here all along.
Your first inclination was right.
If only I hadn't lost sight. The beauty of numbers. The beauty of numbers is everywhere. And at last I can offer my gift to mankind. Let Fermat and my name always be intertwined. Hand in hand as husband and wife, we'll embrace all the wonders of math and life.
Over here, Professor Keene.
Professor Keene, over here.
Over here, here's a question.
Over here, Professor Keene.
What's he done? He says he fixed it.
Is he sure this time the proof is really sound?
Well, it is.
How would you know?
Horizontal Iwasawa theory was the answer. Gave the same result the Euler system gave. Once the mapping was class number formulaic, Galois theory still could make the curves behave.
He's right.
Well, some of us did our homework.
Professor Keene, what about Fermat?
Did he prove it? And if so, how?
He couldn't have known all this stuff.
What would Fermat say now?
Tell the world one last time how my proof was sublime. It captured the joy of numbers. Though I'll never tell, you know all too well, perfection like that can't be found in a book. It's there all around you, you just have to look. Maybe you still can find it. Look hard. And by the way, Danny, nice work.
Over here, Professor Keene.
What about Fermat?
That's right. What about Fermat, Professor Keene?
His proof was so simple, he claimed it was simple. And I believe that what he said was true. But since through the centuries, no one has conjured it, you could almost say Fermat was the most brilliant mathematician the world has ever known. Someday someone may find it, but I won't be the one. My work on this is finished. My life has just begun.